Buenos días, bienvenidos a mi clase de español de hoy otra vez. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Yo estoy muy bien, como siempre. Siempre means always, guys. Siempre, and we will see that in the upcoming episodes. Siempre, 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 always. And if I use the word como, it's means as or like. So como siempre, as always. Como siempre, as always. Yo estoy muy bien, como siempre. I'm very well, as always. ¿Y tú? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Qué tal? Now, before I go on, everyone, I just want to tell you that it would be useful but not essential to have a copy of this sort of mini dictionary sheet, for want of a better expression. So this is all of the language that we're using in self and family and will use in self, family and friends on one sheet. There's also a black and white copy, which I've shown you before, that looks like this, which is cheaper for you to print off at home. Okay, now it's not essential that you have this today because, to be honest, we can probably manage to work off of my PowerPoint slides on screen for what I want to do. I have threatened to use this before and we didn't quite get around to it, but today we will. All right, so it would be useful if you've got that. If you need to pause the video and try and print this off or get it to hand, that's great. And what I've done this time, and I will do increasingly, is underneath this YouTube video, in the description, there is a link which takes you to this document or to a PowerPoint with these two slides only in it, this color slide and the black and white one. So click on that link. Up should come this Wordmat, for want of a better expression again. Wordmat is what I use. You can print it off or at very least download it onto your laptop, computer, whatever it is you're using, so that you can pop it up on screen if you need it. Good, excellent, estupendo, muy bien. Y bueno, ahora, so, now, bueno, ahora, now, bueno, kind of so or well. Vamos a repasar. We are going to revise. Vamos a, we are going to repasar, revise. At this stage, I want to just say to everybody, masses and masses of what we do each lesson is looking back at what we've already done. That's not because I'm short of material, trust me. It's because unless we do regular revision of things, you won't remember stuff. And it's as important, if not almost more important, than introducing the new stuff each time. So this is why we do it. Venga, vamos. So if you want to say, come on, let's go in Spanish, it's venga, vamos. Venga, come on, vamos, let's go. So notice we've got vamos actually here, haven't we? Vamos a repasar. We're using it to say we are going at this stage. And vamos as a kind of expression, exclamation, means let's go. Vamos, vamos. Now, at this stage, pause the video, have a look at this slide. I've taken the English out. What can you remember? Okay, because it's the act of trying to remember stuff from before which will make it stick. So it doesn't matter that you can't remember all of it, but what can you remember? And it's the act of trying to remember stuff, as I say, that will make it stick in the long term. So pause me, look at it. What can you remember? Okay, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I'm just going to show you the slide now that's got the English on. Okay, so there we go. Just to highlight new things from last time. So soy, I am. That's pretty important. If you want to talk about what you're like as a person, you have to be able to say I am. Yo soy, I am. You don't need the yo. You can just say soy. As a man, if I wanted to say I am, if I wanted to say I'm mean, which hopefully you wouldn't want to say, as a man I'd say soy antipático. Soy antipático with the O ending, okay? As a girl, Isabel, for example, would say soy antipática with an A on the end for the feminine form of the adjective. Okay, these are adjectives describing words. The other things we looked at that were sort of new, I think, were these two adjectives at the bottom, guapo and guapa. Guapo, guapa, good looking. And we looked at the antonym, feo, fea for ugly. Feo, fea. Okay, that was quite new. We looked in a bit more detail at these intensifiers, okay, the things that tell you how strong the adjective is. So very, a bit, quite. Am I very fat, a bit fat, quite fat, for example. Muy gordo, un poco gordo, or bastante gordo. Okay, so muy, un poco, bastante. Okay, so these are intensifiers, and they love adjectives because they go together with them. Okay. We saw y and pero, and but. Y and pero. Okay, so that really, and the other describey words, these adjectives, we'd already seen a few times, I think. So, some people with particularly beady eyes might have noticed something today, and it is that I am, en español, in Spanish, yo llevo hoy una gorra. Una gorra. So you might be able to guess, well, we know hoy is today. Yo llevo means I am wearing. Yo llevo. Yo llevo hoy, I'm wearing today, una gorra. Una gorra, like a cap. In this case, it's sort of a beanie hat, isn't it? Es muy elegante, ¿no? Es muy elegante. I think you can guess what elegante means. It means elegant or smart. Actually, it can mean as well as in a smart area of town. Elegante, ¿no? Es un look muy guay. Muy guay. Sí, cool, ¿no? Es un look muy guay. And quite funnily, really, the Spanish use the word a look and the English word look to describe a look. Es un look muy guay. Entonces, ¿por qué llevo una gorra hoy? ¿Por qué llevo una gorra hoy? So, ¿por qué? Important question word. Why is por qué? ¿Por qué? Why am I wearing a hat today or a cap today? Bueno, voy a explicar. Voy a explicar. So voy a, we saw vamos a again earlier, didn't we? Vamos a, we are going to. Voy a, I am going to. What am I going to do? Voy a explicar. I'm going to explain. Okay? But to do that, we need to talk about the weather. Okay? Tiempo is weather. Here it is. Tiempo. Confusingly, in Spanish, tiempo is also the word for time in a general sense. So if I wanted to say, I enjoy spending time with my family, for example, I would use tiempo for time in that sentence. Entonces, vamos a hablar de el tiempo. Vamos a hablar de el tiempo. Now, vamos a hablar means we are going to speak. Hablar, to speak. To speak. Think blah, blah, blah. Hablar. Okay? No H sound there. Hablar. Vamos a hablar de el tiempo. So, de, I've nagged you about this word, is the word for of. Do you remember when I said, bienvenidos, welcome, a mi clase, to my class, de español, of Spanish. So this is the word de, de español, de hoy, of today. So de is of. So what I'm actually saying is we are going to speak of the weather, el tiempo. Okay? Now at this point I want to point something out to you just so you're aware. If you can remember it, brilliant, but it's very likely that you will forget this and we will see it plenty of times. But you will notice that I've crossed out day L, which means of the weather, because the Spanish don't like it. They don't like that combination of the two E's together. And logically, they compress it to just del. Okay? So actually this will come out as vamos a hablar del tiempo. So you can think of del when you see it or hear it as day L, but they don't like it. Here's some lovely weather expressions to get started, okay? Hoy, today, hace calor, hace frío, hace viento. Hace calor, hace frío, hace viento. Okay? Now, look at the little pictures that I've given you here. Can you guess, pause the video if you want to, can you guess which weather or which phrase goes with which weather type here? By all means, pause, have a think, come back. Okay. If you guessed that calor is hot, you would be right. Hace calor, it's hot. Think about burning calories, okay? Or calor gas, which we use for camping stoves, don't we? Calor gas, those of us that go camping. So that clearly has a link to heat, doesn't it? So calories, burning calories to give us energy, calor gas, hace calor, it's hot. Frío, sounds cold. Brr, frío. It's like our word fridge. There's an adjective in English, which some of you might know, which is frigid, which means cold, can be used to describe a person. You can describe a person as a frigid person, meaning a cold person without emotion, if you like. And you could also talk more generally using it to talk about a frigid air mass or frigid air, which means kind of very cold Arctic air, frigid. So the link is obvious between these words in English and this word in Spanish. Frío, cold. Okay. The next one is easy to remember. If you just take out that I, you get vento or vent. And vents in English and ventilation is all about airflow, isn't it? And therefore, it's windy. Okay, if you want to say it's windy, hace viento. And we will see at some stage the word for a window in Spanish is a ventana or ventana. Again, clearly linked to our word vent and ventilation, because I guess in the not that distant a past, windows didn't have glass, so you'd probably get a lot of wind and air coming through your windows. Hace viento, hace frío, hace calor. So, hot, cold, windy. The next thing to point out, like in French, the Spanish don't say it is hot, for example. They don't say it is hot, they say it makes hot or it does hot. And hace means it makes or it does. So think of these expressions as it makes. So it makes hot, it makes cold, it makes wind. Hace calor, hace frío, hace viento. Okay? Here's some other very nice little expressions which are kind of get out of jail expressions really, because if you can't remember the more specific weather expressions, you could just say bad and good weather. Hace buen tiempo, it makes good weather. Hace mal tiempo, it makes bad weather. Hace buen tiempo, hace mal tiempo. Do you remember when I was explaining to you that if somebody asked you, ¿Cómo estás? ¿Qué tal? How are you? You could say muy bien, you could say regular, or you could say mal. And mal is bad. So hace mal tiempo is bad weather. Hace buen tiempo is good weather. Okay? Excelente. Entonces, so, ¿por qué llevo una gorra hoy? So I said to you earlier that ¿por qué, very important question word, it means why. ¿Por qué? Two words actually. ¿Por qué llevo? Why I wear a hat today, or why I am wearing a hat today. Una gorra. And if you can roll your R's, when you see a double R in a Spanish word, it's an invitation to R, gorra. Okay? It can make the difference between the meaning in a word because, for example, we've seen that the word for but in Spanish is pero, P-E-R-O, pero, just one R. But if I say perro, perro, that's the word for a dog, and it's got two R's in it this time. So pero, but, perro, dog. So sometimes it can make a difference in meaning. You just have to practice that one. Entonces, so, ¿por qué llevo una gorra hoy? So, why am I wearing a hat today? Okay. Llevo una gorra hoy. I'm wearing a hat today. Llevo una gorra hoy. Porque hace frío. Hace frío. It's cold. It makes cold. And at this point, guys, I'm going to invite you to look at these two words as a pair. You've got porque, two words with an accent on that E, the question word why in Spanish. Porque, why? And you've got porque, which sounds exactly the same, but this time it's all one word, no accent. And what we've got here is why and because. And it's easy to remember this, isn't it? Because if you're asked the question why, very often the very first thing you're going to say is because as your response, aren't you? So the response to why is usually because. So just be aware though that the question is two words, separate words, por and que, and you've got an accent. And porque, all one word, is because. At this stage, I will just mention something else, which I will mention many times as we move through our Spanish, that all of the main question words in Spanish, like when, where, who, why, and so on, they all have an accent somewhere in them. So that's a good way to remember maybe that porque with that accent is the question form and porque, all one word, is because. Muy bien. Just to explain something that makes me very angry, okay, is my wife. Mi mujer, my woman, or my wife, that's how they say it. Mujer's woman, but it's also the word for wife, one of the words for wife. So, mi mujer, my wife, cree que, she believes that or thinks that, es un look ridículo, tonto. Es un look ridículo, tonto. Ridiculo means ridiculous. Tonto, stupid or silly. So she thinks that this is a stupid and silly look. Sorry, a ridiculous and stupid look. Especialmente con las gafas aquí, ¿no? Especially with the glasses. Gafas, glasses. Gorra, hat or cap. Mujer, woman or wife. Ella no le gusta nada. Okay? You might remember that I pointed out the words me gusta in the last lesson when we looked at the song, and me gusta is how you say I like. It literally means, though, gusta means it pleases. Gusta means it pleases. So when I say me gusta, and me is just spelled M-E, what I'm actually saying is it pleases me, or me it pleases. It's back to front. And when I say le gusta, I'm saying it pleases him or her. Okay? Le gusta. So me gusta, it pleases me. Le gusta, it pleases him or her, depending on who we're talking about. And if I say no le gusta, it doesn't please him or her. No me gusta, it doesn't please me. Okay? And by adding that nada expression on there, nada means nothing. So it kind of is the Spanish way of saying at all. You know, no le gusta, she doesn't like it. No le gusta nada, she doesn't like it at all. Este look no le gusta nada. ¿En serio? Really? ¿En serio? Yo me encanta. Yo me encanta. So encanta, think of it as to enchant. It enchants me, this look. Me, it enchants. Me, it enchants. That's the Spanish way of saying, or the our equivalent of I love. I love this look. Me encanta el look. Muy bien. As for my wife, mi mujer, es increíble. It's incredible. Me enfada mucho. It makes me very angry. Me enfada mucho. She doesn't understand. No entiende nada de la moda. She doesn't understand anything about fashion. Bueno, ahora vamos a aprender. Now we're going to learn. Okay? So this is newer stuff now. And this is really what we're kind of working up to. I keep showing you these little paragraphs. So what we want to concentrate on moving forward is how we're going to talk about ourselves firstly in a very generic way. So I think I'm a very good looking and nice person. In addition, I'm quite funny, but sometimes I can be a bit bossy. I'm slim, but not very tall. I've blonde straight hair and I have green eyes. And here is the Spanish that we're going to try and master in order to say this. So let's just look at the first part, the first sentence of that paragraph. I think that I'm a very good looking and nice person. Creo que, I think that, soy, I am, una persona, a person, muy guapa y simpática. Now, if I was saying this, look, I've used adjectives here with A's on the end, meaning these are feminine versions of these describey words. So guapa, good looking, simpática, nice or kind. Why, even though I'm saying it for myself as a man, am I using guapa y simpática? It's because I'm using this structure, una persona. So even though I'm a guy, the word a person in Spanish is feminine, una persona. So I have to use feminine adjectives to go with that. Creo que, I believe that. Soy, I am. Una persona, a person. Muy guapa y simpática. Very good looking and nice. And modest y modesto. Now, I'm moving on actually quite quickly because in order to give you access to the language that you need to do what we're going to be doing, this is the stage where I really want to introduce you to this kind of word sheet that I've given you and attached. And what I'd like you to do is have a look at this sheet. If you've got a copy of it, brilliant. You can see how I've coloured it. And by the way, it's very difficult to tell on this slide, but these are supposed to be amarillo. This is supposed to be coloured yellow, as opposed to these expressions here, which are naranja, orange. Naranja, amarillo. So you can tell that I'm now just introducing you to some colour words as well. This is going to be a situation where you pause the video again, because what I'd like you to do is, and you will need something to write on, un bolígrafo, a pen, un cuaderno, a exercise book, or papel, or paper, okay, to do this. Let's just remind ourselves of that. There we go. Un bolígrafo, a pen, un cuaderno, an exercise book, or papel, or paper, okay? So, what I want you to focus on is looking at this sheet, A, B, C, D, E. Write these letters down in a column if you want. It's probably the easiest way to do it. And I want you just to look at the sheet and work out which colour, here's our colours in Spanish, which colour part of this sheet corresponds to which type of item. So as an example, A, adjectives of personality. As you look around this sheet, okay, which section, which coloured block of words corresponds to describing words of personality, okay? So we'll do this one together. Is it azul, blue, down here? Is it naranja, this block here, the orange? Is it amarillo, the yellows down here? Is it verde? the green block here, or is it violeta, violet, this purple or violet block here? I do know that these colours aren't completely clear, but that's how they work. So next to A, adjectives of personality, you should be thinking and writing the word amarillo, because these yellow words are all our describing adjectives of personality, aren't they? Happy, bossy, fun, stupid, sweet, and so on. Okay, so A is amarillo, yellow. So just see if you can do the remaining B, C, D, E and work out which are which. Pause me and come back and we'll just check together afterwards. Muy bien. Entonces, vamos. Let's go. Vamos. Venga, vamos. Come on, let's go. So, adjectives of personality on this sheet are blocked as amarillo, yellow, down here. Amarillo. This is adjectives of personality. Adjectives of appearance, if you wrote azul, blue, you would be right. Here they are. Tall, short, neither tall nor short, slim, skinny, whatever it is. Okay, so B should have azul, blue, next to it. Intensifiers, C, are these words that love the adjectives. They go with them, aren't they? So if you wrote next to C, violeta, violet, you would be correct because here they are here. Very, not very, quite, a bit, too, so. Okay, so instead of saying clever, listo, why not say tan listo, so clever, he's so clever, tan listo. Or instead of saying impatient, why not say a bit impatient? He can be a bit impatient, un poco impaciente. Next is frequency expressions. Frequency is to do with how often, isn't it? So if you wrote down next to that verde, green, you would be correct because here they are. Frequency expressions. Never, sometimes, often, always, nunca, a veces, a menudo, siempre. Do you remember I said siempre earlier when I was saying that when I was responding to the question, ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? How are you? And I said, yo estoy muy bien. Me, I'm very well. Como siempre, as always. Como siempre. Okay? And finally, connecting and extending words. Where were they hidden on this sheet? Well, if you wrote naranja, orange, you would be correct because here they are. Words for extending like and, also or as well, and in addition. We've got connecting words like but, although, and however. And the word that we saw earlier, porque, because. Do you remember that? So porque is because, and it's the, if you like, the twin of the question por qué, why. Porque. And they sound exactly the same, except that porque is all one word, doesn't have an accent anywhere. Okay. I think at that stage, we're going to perhaps finish up with a little activity, and it is only a short activity, just to see how you are feeling with your Spanish. And what I want to do is show you a technique that I use quite a lot, which is first letter prompts. So look, here is a Spanish sentence. It's the first sentence in that paragraph we looked at. I think that I'm a very good looking and nice person. And to give you a prompt and something to sort of hang your Spanish on, I've given you the first letters of the Spanish words here that you would need to write that sentence or say that sentence. So if you've got the word map here, you might want to refer to that, or maybe you feel super confident that you could do that without looking at that sheet. So I'd like you just to pause me one last time. There's an extra challenge here for people that are feeling particularly perky with their Spanish today. How are you going to say in Spanish, I think that I am a very good looking and nice person with these as the first letters of the Spanish, okay? And for those of you who are on fire today, how could you negatify the sentence in Spanish? So how would you make this, if you like, the opposite of that? Okay, pause me, think about it, write it down, come back to me. Okay, so if you wrote down, creo que soy una persona muy guapa y simpático, you would be exactly right. Creo que soy una persona muy guapa y simpática. And for those of you that did the extra little challenge, the negatifying the sentence, this is a simple way of doing it, isn't it? Creo que, I believe that, soy una persona, I am a person, very ugly and mean. Creo que soy una persona muy fea y antipática, which is kind of the anti-sentence to I am a good-looking and nice person. Okay, fea y antipática. That's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed the lesson. Hasta luego. Until then, hasta la próxima vez. Until the next time. Adios.